people in Twitter or people in the comment section of my videos, when I open up the comment section, they'll ask me, what's my routine? The routine in the morning. I think really what everyone's asking, because they really don't care about, the calories and the meals I eat and how I exercise and what stretching routines I do and all those types of things. That's the boring thing. Nobody's interested in that. But I did share it on Twitter. But I think what they're asking for is, what's my trading morning routine? Like, what do I do in the morning? Like before I sit down on the charts, like what is going through my mind? What do I consider? What are things that are important to me as an analyst? What do I look for as a supportive structure, a resource? What resources do I use? Those types of things. But when I wake up, if I'm napping in the afternoon, because I do generally try to take a nap in the afternoon before the PM session in S&P, I will again hydrate. But if I'm waking up for the morning session, the first thing I do is hydrate. I drink 20 ounces of spring water. And then that's important because you have to have, number one, you have to have liquid. You have to have it. Your brain will function better. Your muscles will be hydrated. You'll get less muscle cramps. And generally I have a banana, and that'll give me potassium, because standing in one spot or if you sit, I don't like to sit because my back won't let me do it. But if you do that for a long period of time, you'll get crampy. And I'm not sure if you ever stood or sat in front of charts for a long period of time and you start getting that crampiness in your lower back or somewhere in your body, or you get a muscle cramp somewhere. You can't focus on the chart. You're worried about that damn cramp that's going off. So one of the best things you can do is start your day with hydration. And then I stretch. I go through a routine of stretching, and that's about all I'm going to do for this discussion here, because everything else is obviously shown in that tweet months ago. But what I do is I refer to the economic calendar again, because when you wake up from a nap, or if you slept overnight and you're getting ready to do your morning session in trading, it's very easy to lose your bearings. You ever wake up, and I'm 50 years old, and I've had episodes in the last 30 years where I woke up and literally felt like I was late for school. I've been in school for a long, long time, but it's just weird how our minds are so powerful when we're sleeping. And when you wake up, you are in a altered state. Like, you're not really awake yet. Your eyes might be open. Someone may be talking to you and you're looking in the direction that they're talking, but you're not really there. So you have to obviously refer back to what it is that you're going to be doing, because you could remember something about an economic calendar event. And I've done this. Okay. So I thought that there was going to be a report due and it wasn't due. And I'm expecting something in the marketplace, and then realize, oh, what am I doing? I'm in the marketplace trying to do something, and that's not even due out today. Or if I'm waiting for an 8:30 morning news embargo to lift and there's no news coming out. So I have to make the decision. Do I hold on to this trade idea if it's in drawdown and try to get out with close to even, or if I can squeak out a win from it, or do I just cut bait and just take the small loss because I did something incorrect? These are all things I have done coming up. Okay, so if you've ever had that happen, just know that you're in good company, because I'm not ashamed to say that I did those things too coming up. So you have to definitely review the economic calendar. Now, what economic calendar do I use? Well, I used to use Econo Day, and I mentioned that when I was on Baby Pips. And when I went to teaching predominantly Forex, I grew to appreciate and like ForexFactory.com's calendar. I think it's easy. It's easy to manage and filter. I don't like looking at the yellow, low impact events. I only looked at the pairs that were of interest to me, but always the dollar. And when I was trading Forex, it would be the euro dollar, the pound dollar, and the US dollar. And only medium impact and high impact news drivers. And I would toggle the little gray box because it would tell you bank holidays and things like that. But other than that, that's pretty much what I would use for an economic calendar. The review of what I thought would come the previous day. So in other words, whatever I thought my analysis would see in price delivery. For instance, what did I think was going to happen in euro dollar? Okay. Or what did I expect to see in E-mini S&P before I laid down? Okay. I have to revisit that, because while I was sleeping, bombs could be dropping somewhere, a new virus gets released, some kind of boogeyman, narrative gets put in motion, or just simply, a collapse of some kind, or something that I didn't expect and I was wrong in my analysis. The market has done something that I didn't expect and I was wrong. So I have to recalibrate myself and say, okay, what did I expect before I took the nap or before I went to bed? And then when I go into the economic calendar, I have that reminded, because if I expect something to come into the marketplace in terms of volatility, that's what the high impact and medium impact news drivers are for. We want to know when it's likely to increase in volatility. Okay, it's one thing to be like in an earnings season. Like in earnings season, futures, they get wild many times after the close. Okay, and we also know that in Forex, we don't really have earnings season, but we do have economic drivers that come out, and they're set to a specific day and time, much like a TV guide. Okay, I'm a child of the 70s. I was born in 1972. And when we grew up, all you young guys and gals out there are used to having the TV guide or the guide on your remote. You push your button and it tells you what's on TV right now and what channel. And you can scroll ahead in time and see what's on. We only had that luxury with a little magazine, and it was a TV guide, and it was published every week. Well, these events or not topics, but these events and or opportunities in trading are basically scheduled like TV programs. Okay, your high impact and medium impact news drivers are scheduled well in advance. Like you can see 2-3 weeks from now when these things are coming. So you're not surprised by it, or you shouldn't be. Okay, so by having that understood and what days of the week are likely to create these increases in volatility, so you know what that volatility is going to bring with it, the strong likelihood of manipulation. And that's one of the key factors or ingredients to what we're looking for smart money. We want to see some type of manipulation, and I'll get to what that manipulation should look like in a moment. But I'm referring to the economic calendar, making sure that I'm in front of the charts for the right reasons, and I'm following the right market. So if you're a Forex trader, you want to be looking for your pairs that have the currency news driver that has a high or medium impact news driver coming out around it. It'll tell you the time. And most of the time it's 8:30 in the morning, or if it's US based, it may be something like 9:30 or 10 or 10:30, like for crude oil inventories. And you can trade Canadian dollar, just on that report alone. But referring to your previous session or before you went to sleep's analysis, is that still hold true? Or does it hold true? Or has something changed while you were away from the charts? If it hasn't changed, then you go through the process of trusting it. And what type of analysis would that be? Well, number one, I start everything on Saturday, and I look at what I think that weekly chart's trying to go to. Is it going higher or is it going lower? I'm not trying to predict Friday's closing price. I don't teach my students to try to predict the Friday closing price, okay? So if we know that the weekly chart is likely to go higher. Now, when I say if we know, how do we know? Well, we don't know with 100% surety that it's going to go up or down. Our analysis is never guaranteed. That's why we have to have stop loss. But I want you to think about how when you watch me trade these intraday movements, and I'm on a 1 minute candle. Okay, number one, I'm canceling out all the arguments from the Goldman Sachs boys that say it's just noise and there's no pattern. Okay, there's no consistency or continuity found in lower time frames. These are people that don't know what they're talking about, and you've seen now